So what happens when you make a mistake? A couple months ago, I was in the garage with my boyfriend who was doing some woodworking, and I grabbed the wood stain to move it closer to him and put it on the edge of the table, and it fell and spilled everywhere. It was a huge mess, and he didn't yell. He didn't say, like, what the fuck were you thinking? He just left. And I cleaned it up, and I went and bought another can of stain, and we had a good day, like we always do. And it was really nice to have someone not react, and it made me really think about, being a hypnotherapist. I see a lot of guilt and shame. It's like makes the worst maladaptive behaviors, emotions, and beliefs. Behind it all is always guilt and shame. And I guess so just kind of think about that. Like, if your partner makes a mistake, do you make them feel worse? Because if you think about guilt and shame, it doesn't make you learn from your mistakes. It keeps you stuck in them. You should be able to take the information of, okay, that was wrong, and change your behavior. But when you're constantly reminding yourself, oh, you messed up, that doesn't prevent you from making the mistake again. What prevents you from making the mistake again is that decision that you already made. So really, you're just ruminating on negativity and, like, making yourself feel like shit. So yeah, when your partner makes a mistake, do you let them learn from it? You treat them how you'd want to be treated. If you're a parent and you have kids, how do you treat them when they make a mistake? Because that becomes the voice in their head for what happens when they make a mistake. And then, most importantly, how do you treat yourself when you make a mistake? Because, like I said, just going over it over and over and over again, beating yourself up, it's not gonna keep you from doing that thing you already decided not to. You don't need the guilt and shame to go along with it as like an extra motivator. Why don't you just be motivated to not do it? Our brain doesn't need it. I've helped a lot of people release it, and it's a big deal. When I'm in hypnosis with someone and we're trying to clear guilt or shame, I'll say, well, I'm like, why can't you let this go? Why can't you let the guilt and shame go? They'll say, well, I don't want to do it again. And I'm like, well, are you going to do it again? Well, no. And I was like, why not? And they'll always say, well, because I remember how it made this person feel, or, it was just an accident, or this or that. And I was like, okay, so we can have the memory of the event, and that's enough of a motivation. The memory of the consequences, the memory of what happened, that's enough to keep you from repeating a behavior. What guilt does is it's a little more than this happened. It's, you're a piece of garbage because this happened. You should feel ashamed because this happened. That is not a motivating behavior. That's just rumination. So try to let the memory be the reminder if you need it. I encourage you to make a mistake and trust yourself to learn from it, trust yourself to move on, and trust yourself to grow. That's what we're all here to do, is grow. So I hope that makes sense.